Okay, level 1. So this is question 1 still and part 4 here. So we've still got the same graph and it's a box and whisker plot with a dot plot, and a magazine is claiming that New Zealand players have more caps than Australian players. Comment on the magazine's claim and based on the sample of players provided and justify your answers using statistical reasons. All right, so the only way we know that the only way to make a call that one is bigger or smaller than the other is by using the median, and whether or not it is outside the box. Okay, so for this one, we've got a median here of 66, and here we've got a lower quartile of 67. So this one lies just outside the box. Okay. And then this one here is sort of still lying within the box. All right. So technically, we could have said that yes, that New Zealand players actually have less caps than Australian players. So the other way around, so they would actually be wrong. However, we need to remember about sample sizes and whether or not this is a good sample size. So what you may notice here is that Australian players, we have a sample of 31, and New Zealand, we have a sample size of 29. And 29 does lie just a little bit under the acceptable sample size. I mean, I guess together, both Australia and New Zealand, there's 60 samples there, but with one of them being only 29, it really is setting on the edge. And considering the sample size is quite small in, reality, and this margin here is quite small, I don't think that there's really enough here to make a genuine call on this, because it is kind of quite low anyways. So first of all, we would answer with saying something like, no, no, we cannot make this call. Definitely can't make the call that New Zealand players have more caps. So New Zealand's median actually sits just outside the lower quartile, so under New Zealand's lower quartile. So New Zealand may actually have less caps, not more. All right, so we may actually come to that conclusion. But then also, New Zealand's mean and median both are lower than Australia's. And then it may pay to actually say by how much. So we've got a median here of 80 for Australia and a median here of 66. So that one's actually 14 lower. So the median is 14 caps less for New Zealand. And then the mean here, we've got 75 and 81.5. So, and then let's close that bracket just yet. And mean is around 6 caps less. Okay, so yeah, so we cannot make the call basically because our median is actually less, so it doesn't actually make sense there. But we also may want to be like, well, actually also sample size is on the low side, and 29 for New Zealand isn't really acceptable. And then say something like it's too narrow a margin to make the call. All right, so that is worth a T if you get that. But at least if you talk about the median at some point, you could at least get an AU, which is the achieved, or